our second race of the day. This is a 45-minute criteria.
All right, this is the bucket knife criterium. This is June 2nd, so a few weeks ago. And this was the day after the state road race championships. This is not a state championship race. It's just happens on the same weekend in the same area, put on by the same people. This is the also known as the River City Cycling Classic. And what we are looking at is a combination mainly of three fields. We have the women's 1-2 field, of which there are only 2 riders. And those riders are Ivy Audrain of Ventum bikes and also of TrainerRoad fame, and her mother. And her mother is Tammara Bessette, riding for MTCX. So that was really cool to have them out there. They were super strong, and it was fun racing with them. Then we also have the Masters Men 40 plus category 4 or 5. And the group that I'm in is the Masters 50 plus open. So all categories 50 plus. And right now we're going through the first lap. This is a great course. If you look in the upper right hand corner, you can kind of see where the course is. Towards the end, you get a couple of turns. Get this left-hand turn coming up, and then you'll have a right-hand turn running into the finishing straight. I really do like this course. It's not flat, but it's not hilly either. It's got a nice bit of elevation gain. I mean, not a lot of gain or anything, but just kind of fun. Right now, I am going after this break here. It's got basically the 2 of the people that we really want to keep an eye on. That is Steve Hansen, who won the 50 plus, and it's got my teammate Ron, and it's also got Andrew Shirley from Mercedes-Benz. And as I pass him, I let him know that we've got a gap, and I'm hoping that maybe we could try to roll this, even though it is still the first lap of the race, because we do have some strong people in this break. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like anybody really wanted to go that early, so it just kind of peters out once we go around the corner here. As I mentioned, that's Steve right in front of me right now, and he is, I hate to say it, but right at the moment, pretty much impossible to beat in the 50 plus with the field that we've got. And I think I probably should have taken that more into consideration, and I'll explain that later in the race. Who else? We've got the other person that I wanted to pay attention to in this race was Joe Barato, riding for Gurks, and he's a very good sprinter, and he mainly just will sit in the back of the pack and try not to do any work, and then come around and sprint in the end, and it's very effective for him. I don't find that kind of racing very fun, so I do find myself up in front a fair amount. Right there on the left-hand side, that person that just went past, that was Ivy Audrain. So she's taking off, and I don't know who's with her right there, but she's going for a little flyer there. Coming into this race, there's only 2 teammates. Right now, right in front of me is Ron and myself. And Ron is racing 2 races on this day. He's racing the 50 plus and the 60 plus. The 60 plus race is going to be a little bit later in the day, so I know that he doesn't want to use up all his energy, but he was hoping to potentially help me out in this race. Our semi-loose plan was that maybe we could get in a break with Steve and Ron and myself and maybe 1 or 2 other people, and I would just sit on the back of that break and let them do the work, and hopefully that might have the possibility of wearing Steve Hansen down a little bit. That's why that first break on that first lap, I was thinking, oh, this could be a good opportunity, but it didn't happen. Jumping forward a little bit, then if you see on the left-hand side going up there, that's Tammara, that's Ivy's mom. making a little break. And you don't see it here, but I believe that Ivy followed her. And if you look in the left-hand corner up here, you'll see them come around the corner first. So they're off in a little break together. You kind of just see them up there right now. So that was pretty cool. Barely the second lap, and the two ladies in the field are putting it to the men and taking off. They still have a bit of a gap. I decide that I'm a little too far back in this pack, and I wanted to move up a bit. I think our field was probably, let's see here, 20, 22, 25 people, something like that. Alright, so I move up towards the front here, and we've got Andrew Shirley from Mercedes right there in front of me. I think Steve Hansen, and I believe my teammate Ron is up there. And I think they're pulling the ladies back right now. Yep, and then we also have Greg from Gerks up there. And yeah, there's Ivy and Tammara right there. Jumping ahead a little farther, I'll work on my transitions in future videos. I'm just learning how to use Adobe Premiere Pro and telemetry overlay and all that. So right now we've got some of the Revolution riders up front from the 40 plus 4-5 field, and you got Steve Hansen. Right in front of me is Kim Collins right there to the right, and I believe that was Doug Carlton from Keller Warback making a break. So I see Steve following him, so I'm gonna basically just tag on Steve's wheel and kind of follow him around all day if I can. I'm sorry, that was Ron, my teammate up there. So right now I think we had a little bit of gap. I was hoping that maybe Steve would roll through. Again, hoping our plan would be like we get in a break with the two of us. We can get Steve to do most of the work and then potentially allow me to sprint. But we didn't really get far enough on that one, and Steve didn't want to pull through, so all back together. And there goes Ivy again, making another break. And there I am, just tagging along with Steve. As it turns out, this is a preem lap. I don't have it in me to go for preems and also go for a finish, so just trying to, I figure Steve's going to win it, so I figure just try to keep fairly close to him. This is a little later in that lap coming in. And Ron, actually my team, put in a little dig. And I'm still just tagging along. Ron was trying to help me out and maybe lead us out so we could go for the preem, but probably should have told him that I wasn't going to go for any preems. There goes Steve. I'll just kind of let him go. I do kind of wish somebody would have contested the preems a little bit, made him work a little bit harder to actually get him, because nobody did, because everybody knew that he would win those sprints. So, the question here is, does he keep going, or is he going to let the field catch up to him? And in this case, he did let the field catch back up to him. Just basically me leading the field up to him right at the moment. Again, you can see by my watts that I'm actually not going very hard. It's a slightly downhill right now on this section. Going to jump forward again here in just a second. Don't want to make you have to watch the entire criterium. So here we are, come down the home straight again a little bit later on. Actually, I think this is when Doug Carlton makes an attempt of a break here. So over on the right-hand side, there goes Doug. Then I see Steve following him. Everybody kind of just picks up the pace. Doesn't look like Doug got any separation there. Just kind of upped the pace a little bit. So now we're all back together again. Greg from Kirk's there on the right-hand side. Again, there's Ivy on the left. I'll let Ron slot in front of me here. This is a pretty fun race. I like when races are active and people are actually trying to attack. It makes it much more interesting. There goes Tammara again on the left-hand side. I see Steve chasing her. This time I don't really try to jump up too quickly. It didn't seem like anything was getting away, so try not to use as much energy. Jump ahead soon here. Yep, we got another preem. guys taking off on my team over there on the left again. Just a little dig. Let's see what happens. But people followed up pretty quick. This is still the preem lap. We got Steve right there in the front, and Shirley again. Oops, and there goes Doug. Doug's making a break for it. So I stick on Andrew's wheel this time, and I'm hoping he's going to pull us back up to them. I don't know who is in front of Andrew here, but basically Steve and Doug are a little bit off the front, then there's this other guy, and then Andrew and myself. You can see now Steve has a bigger gap coming into that final turn for the kind of sweeping left-hand gradual to the home straight. So everybody kind of lets him go because, again, we pretty much know he's going to win the sprint, and nobody really wants to waste their energy doing that. And I think everybody's hoping that, just like the last preem, he slows up after that and lets the pack catch back up to him. Unfortunately, I think he realized that he had a bigger lead than he thought he would have, and he decides to keep going. So Steve is now off on a solo break, and it doesn't look like anybody's really working hard to try to bring him back. So Ron comes up, and I catch up to him so we can have a quick chat.
I think we can even chase him, probably. He's getting too much of a gap. He was going to sit up, now he's going.
So as you can hear there, I tell Ron that we should probably chase him. And that was a mistake. We shouldn't have chased him. We should have just let him go. He's definitely stronger than anybody else in the field. Unless we had a really concerted effort from everyone trying to pull him back, it wasn't going to happen. But in the heat of the moment, I had a little bit of race brain and thought, okay, we can do this. Ron is really good. He's won several races solo, and he actually ended up winning the 60-plus field in a break of 3. So, you know, I figured maybe we had the firepower, but it seemed like, I don't know, maybe everybody's leaving it up to us to try to chase him down. So basically Ron pulls through. We've got 7 laps to go. You can see that on the lap board there to the right. And we come around this finishing stretch, around this corner, and then Ron's going to flick me through. So at this point, I'm trying to decide in my head, and I decide, well, I didn't come here to race for second, so I'll give it a go. So after we get down to the bottom of this hill, a slight downhill here, I put in an effort and breakaway solo for basically the next 3 laps, burning matches that I didn't really have, and I probably should have been saving for the sprint. So I definitely think that was my biggest mistake of the race. So here we are at 4 laps to go. The field has caught back up to me.
4 laps to go. Let's see who can close that gap out.
And I'm hoping that I can recover after that effort. 3 laps on my own in no man's land was not a lot of fun. I cut it out so I didn't have to listen to all the heavy breathing that I was doing. Now we're coming into 1 lap to go. Joe Barato is right in front of me there. I figure he's the wheel I want to stick on. And we're all racing. We're racing for 2nd place now because Steve is way off the front and nobody's going to catch him. Looks like the Gurks team is the only one that has any numbers in the field left. We've got 3 guys there, so potentially 2 for a lead out for Joe. Got the other Joe and Greg. So there's Greg right there to my left. However, their lead-out train does not seem to be functioning too well. Kind of lose Joe's wheel there for a second, but I'll get back on it once we go around these last corners. So spoiler alert, Joe Barato does beat me in a bike throw at the line in the sprint. But I want to kind of point out, I think obviously the solo chase was not good for my sprinting. I hit over 1,000 watts several times in this. Okay, Joe takes off right now, and you can see we're doing only like 800 watts, maybe 850, and then it goes down to about 500. I should have sprinted right now. I waited way too long, and then just didn't have quite enough and couldn't get up to speed. I don't even think I got 800 watts in that sprint, which again is way below where I should have been. But congratulations to Joe Barato. Great sprint by him, and I ended up getting 3rd. Steve Hansen was 1st, Joe Barato 2nd, and I got 3rd. It was a fun race. See you guys next time.